Hello everyone. You may recall in my last video that I was trying to find a lighter, cheaper alternative to the Trangia gas system and convert it to use in small stoves. And this is the gas burner that I came up with. When I originally purchased it, it had all these bits attached that I didn't need, so I took them off. I'm not going to repeat myself today, so if you want to know how I took all this apart, you'll have to watch my last video. In my last video, I converted a BCB cooker to take a gas stove. And I was aware that it needed a couple of improvements. So I asked you good people out there and I said, have you got any comments or anything you can add in order to improve this? And thanks to all your comments and inputs, I came up with this. Originally, I put in this narrow piece of aluminium strip. And then somebody suggested it needs to be wider to reflect the heat. So I put a wider strip in. And also, I knew that the headspace was a little bit tight. It's only about 10 millimeters there. So what I've got is a trivet. I got this off another stove. I'll put it on top and that's raised that up sufficiently so that we can have a nice flame which is wide enough away from the bottom of the pot. It was then that I started to get a bit carried away and I started looking around at the stoves that I got and I wondered if I could convert any of the other small ones to gas. So a short time later, I went and drilled a 14mm hole in the bottom of my British Army hexagon stove. Then I unscrewed the top of this little cheap gas stove. Shoved him in the hole in the bottom and put him back together. And before you know it, we was good to go. After that, I had a look at my Firebox Nano and I thought, what could I do with that? So before you know it, I've drilled a 12mm hole in a piece of aluminium and trimmed the sides. And I came out with this. I converted that one to gas as well. So then I got super carried away and I thought to myself, wow, I've got a honey stove and I've used it in a 4-sided configuration. Could I possibly convert that to gas as well? So with this one, I drilled a 12mm hole and I couldn't do this centrally. It had to be slightly off center. And the reason for that is, I'll show you on the titanium plate that I've got, there isn't actually a center. The center is just there. So I had to pick one of the holes just underneath it because there was no way I was going to get a hole directly through the center of there. Before you know it, I'd screwed it into the plate and slotted him together. So then I looked at the pocket stove I've got from Backpacking Light and I thought, surely not, it's never going to work with that as well. Well, it does. How well it works, I don't know. And with this one, it's a super tight fit, but it does go in there just about. I did try one more, and that's this Esbit type of stove. It's quite a bit smaller than the British Army hexagon stove. Again, with some type of trivet on top to raise it up, it will work. Remember, he's not fixed in any shape or form underneath. So there you have it. With a little bit of imagination, some odd bits of aluminium windshield and a few tools, it is possible to convert some of your small twig and solid fuel stoves so that you can have the added versatility of using gas. I look forward to taking these out and using them in the real world. That's all I have for you today. InfoShed out.